Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 10th of November, 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on AEW Dynamite. And I felt like AEW Dynamite tonight was a very solid show from start to finish. I thought the show flowed really well. Things made sense. There wasn't really anything that I can think of where I go, what the fuck was that? Why did that happen? No, there was just a bunch of stuff on the show that took place, and it all, for the most part, really made a lot of sense. I felt like it could have been a little bit better as a go-home show. I will say that if I have to criticize anything, because I felt like, yeah, they built up a lot of things for the pay-per-view, but at the same time, there were things that were just matches. Like Danielson and Rocky Romero. Like, why didn't Miro come out afterwards and stare down Danielson? Or the Jungle Boy Anthony Bowens match. I get the post-match stuff with Bobby Fish, ties it in with Adam Cole and the Super Click and all that. But then we had like Wheeler Yuta and Wardlow, and that was random. Another random match, Seidel Moriarty, Martin Rush, and maybe I'm nitpicking to nitpick. Also, let me grab my bottle of water really fast. All right. Accidentally left it over next to the couch where I was watching the show. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel right here on Twitch. You can subscribe a couple of different ways, either with a tiered subscription, or if you say, nah, I don't want to be like Broken King Slender, who was subscribed at tier 1 for 16 months. I don't got the money. I'm already paying old Jeff Bezos for Amazon Prime. Well, you're in luck, because if you're paying for Amazon Prime, you take that Amazon Prime account, you take your Twitch account, you link them, and you got what they call a Prime Gaming account. Prime Gaming gives you a number of cool things like free games. This month's free games are giving you the Ultimate Edition of Control. They're giving you one of the Tomb Raider games. I can't remember exactly which one. I can look it up here in 2 seconds. They're giving you Rise of the Tomb Raider with bonus content. And you can also get Dragon Age Inquisition for free. Plus, you can get content for Apex Legends, Amazon's New World, Genshin Impact, Destiny 2, Grand Theft Auto Online, and so much more. But one thing you always get with Prime Gaming is one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you use that one subscription on us right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out over there by, putting a super chat or a super sticker in the live chat. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel by hitting that join button down below and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, joining the Unlimited Army, you get early access to news, early access to podcast episodes, which we should be having a new podcast launching next week, and early access to non-news videos. But with that, also remember, if you buy anything on the Epic Game Store, you can support us with the Epic Creator Code PW Unlimited. Whether you're buying stuff, whether that's in the Epic Game Store or from an Epic game like Fortnite or Rocket League, is going to ask you, do you have an Epic Creator Code? Well, you do, because it's PW Unlimited. With doing so, you are supporting us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited, helping us keep going and keep going stronger than ever. So with that, guys, excuse me, something caught in my throat there right as I was talking. So with that, guys, also remember you can support us, patreon.com/PW Unlimited. But let's get into it. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite that kicked off with the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, versus old Rocky Romero. And I'm going to say it right now. Have you guys ever seen Three Ninjas Kick Back? I think that's the right one. Three Ninjas Kick Back. Is that the one where they go to Japan? Yes, the one where they go to Japan. Rocky's the older brother. They're in Japan, and there's the scene when they have to run across the water, and there's these like wooden planks that are barely floating. And if you go slow, you're going to fall in the water. If you go fast, you're going to run across the water. Well, there's a scene where they all got to run across, and Rocky's been scared to do this in training. And the Japanese ninjas that they're running from look at him. They're like, Rocky, come on, come on. And so they go, oh, Rocky, go Rocky. And every time I hear the name Rocky in anything, I think back, Three Ninjas Kick Butt, or Kick Back. I watched that movie on repeat growing up. When I was little, the movie came out in 1994. I was born in 1989. When I was little, I used to literally watch it, click the rewind, and let it replay. And I just always, whenever I hear the name Rocky, I think of Three Ninjas. And when he's got to run across the water, and they're like trying to taunt him, and he's like, oh, Rocky, Rocky. So whenever I hear Rocky Romero, I think, oh, Rocky Romero. That's what I think of, because I've seen that movie 20,000 times. It's probably more an inflated number, but I'm just saying. There'd be days when I was younger, I'd watch that movie 3-4 times in a row. 3 times in a row most days. But with that, as far as this match does go, the bell rings. Bryan Danielson and Rocky Romero shake hands before actually starting the match. Danielson hits Romero with a suplex and begins work on his leg. Danielson drops Romero with a waistlock takedown. Romero sends Danielson to one of the turnbuckle corners. Let me fix something here. There we go. For some reason, half my paragraph was like in a different color on Google Docs, and it looked all weird. Where was I? Romero sends Danielson to one of the corners and hits Danielson with the back elbow. Romero sends Danielson out of the ring. As Danielson gets up, Orange Cassidy is distracting him. Orange Cassidy, one of the newest members of Chaos. Romero takes advantage of this and nails Danielson with a dive through the middle ropes. Romero and Danielson are back in the ring. Danielson gets the upper hand. Danielson hits Romero with a series of strikes. Danielson begins stretching Romero. However, Romero gets out of it. Rocky throws Danielson to the ropes and hits a swinging DDT. Excuse me. Romero is in control and is beating down Danielson with vicious strikes. Danielson is outside the ring again, and Romero attacks yet again. Rocky stays on top of him and continues the control. Danielson counters Rocky with a German suplex. Both men then back up and end up on the top turnbuckle, and then they fly off, slamming onto the mat. Romero grabs Danielson's arm and attempts to go for a cross arm breaker. Danielson gets out of it. Bryan counters it and puts Rocky in the ankle lock. Romero counters that and has Danielson in yet another submission. Danielson finally counters that. Rocky counters that. Danielson then goes for another submission move, and Danielson has Rocky in a tequila sunrise, causing Rocky to tap out. So Danielson, Bryan Danielson, that is, does defeat Rocky Romero. Tony Schiavone's in the ring. He says he's going to speak with the Inner Circle. He calls them out ahead of their Minneapolis street fight this weekend at Full Gear, but they never make it to the ring as they are attacked by the Men of the Year and American Top Team. The Inner Circle are walking down the ramp as they are getting laid out. Junior Dos Santos at one point hits Jericho multiple times. He also lays out, I think it was Ortiz. Multiple times, Junior Dos Santos hits Ortiz multiple times with a kendo stick. Santana gets thrown into the steel steps. And finally, well, they take Jericho into the ring. Dan Lambert is on the middle ropes. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are with them as they set up a table. Then, Dan Lambert power bombs Jericho through the table with the assist, of course, of Sky and Page. I think it was Scorpio Sky then grabs the microphone and goes, by God, I think he's been broken in half. He's been broken in half. Making fun of Jim Ross. And the crowd chants, assholes. Page then tells Lambert to make Jericho tap out. Put Jericho in the walls of Jericho. Lambert does. They put the microphone in Lambert's face and he goes, this is really the Boston Crab. Championship Wrestling from Florida, 1970-something. The real Rocky Johnson. And I go, oh, shit, what the fuck is going on there? Ethan Page then grabs the mic and says, America Top Team is the most powerful team in AEW. I think it was Excalibur, then goes, I would probably say all professional wrestling. They also then say that the goal on Saturday is not just to defeat the Inner Circle, but for Dan Lambert to be the one to pin Chris Jericho. So after commercial break, we got trios action. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, a Rebel, and Jamie Hayter taking on the team of Ty Conti, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa, where twice Excalibur messes up. Excalibur says that Britt Baker will be facing the number 1 ranked contender this weekend, Thunder Rosa. No, he's not, or she's not. She's not facing Thunder Rosa. She's facing Ty Conti. And he says it again in the match. You know, that feud between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa has been really, really heated this year. It could be the feud of the year in AEW, and it's coming to a head. It's like, and this weekend it'll be coming to a head or something like that. And I'm like, no, it's not. Ty Conti's the one getting the match. And then, like, Shivani tries to cover, not calling out Excalibur for being wrong. And basically just goes, Ty Conti's going to be a major opponent for Britt Baker come Saturday at Full Gear. Baker might be scared of Conti, and they talk about that later as well. They also say that this is the toughest challenger Britt Baker's ever had for that title. And I go, Ty Conti? You know what? We're thinking about the same person, right? Anyways, excuse me. As far as the matches go, Jamie Hayter, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa. No. Thunder Rosa and Rebel start the match. Rosa punishes Rebel with multiple strikes before tagging in Anna Jay. Anna Jay and Thunder Rosa begin some double teams on Rebel until Hayter gets involved and hits Anna Jay in the back. Referee Paul Turner gets distracted, and now Baker gets engaged in action. AEW heads to a picture-in-picture break here with Hayter in control. When we return, Ty Conti hits Hayter with the KO, whatever it's called. Conti then goes for the pin. However, Baker breaks it up. Now remember that. This time, Britt Baker jumped in to break up the pin. All 6 women are fighting around the ring. Thunder Rosa is on the top turnbuckle and lands a flying crossbody to Jamie Hayter on the outside that looked like she landed full midsection in Jamie Hayter's face, because immediately she hits the move, grabs Jamie Hayter's head, and starts talking to her. I assume Jamie Hayter's all right. She finished up in this match, so very, very scary spot there. And Thunder Rosa knew she had messed up. The way she grabbed Jamie's head, and then you couldn't see her moving, but you can kind of see her head moving like she was talking or something. So Ty Conti hit Rebel with a DDT and then pins Rebel to pick up the victory. But in doing so, Baker was on the apron, and Ty Conti went for her move, the DDT or DDT, whatever you want to call it. And Baker slowly climbs off the apron. She then goes for the pin on Rebel, 1, 2, 3, and Baker just watches. But remember earlier, Baker actually broke up the pin when Ty Conti was going for it on Jamie Hayter. So what's the difference here? They said on commentary, trying to cover this, was that this is the toughest competitor that Britt Baker has faced yet for her title, and she may be scared of Ty Conti. Also, it throws me off that her name is spelled T-A-Y. Tay. Because my dyslexic brain reads it as Tay. So I say Tay, even though I know it's Ty. It should be T-Y or T-Y-E or something. Gabriel Perez, I don't know what you're talking about. Thunder Rosa is the biggest threat to Ty Conti. No. What do you mean? They said that Ty Conti's the biggest threat to Britt Baker, yet Excalibur said twice that Baker's facing Rosa. Anyways, I mean, that doesn't compare to later on in the night when Jim Ross just blatantly says Daniel Bryan. Like, he just literally says, we've had a lot of great action tonight, kicking it off as we kicked off the night with Rocky Romero versus Daniel Bryan. I'm like, whoa. I think he says it during this next match, Jungle Boy versus Anthony Bowens. It was either during that match or the Pac match, Pac Dax Harwood match. One of those. He's just legit, when speaking about some of the great action we've had tonight. I don't know why I put that in quotes. It was some great action. He literally says Daniel Bryan. And so I tweet out, ooh, he said Daniel Bryan again. Because I think the first time he said Daniel Bryan. And people get on me. People got on me. Like, hold on, I'm going to pull this tweet up really fast. I tweeted out, Jim Ross did it again. He called Danielson Daniel Bryan. Not the first time he's done this. And people come at me and they're like, oh, so what? Why does anyone care? We know who he's talking about. Okay, yeah, we know who he's talking about. But you're the announcer. You're supposed to know everyone's current name. And then this other guy goes, but it sounds so much better. And it's shorter than Bryan Danielson. Although it's his actual name. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a better name. If you think Daniel Bryan is better than Bryan Danielson, his name in the company is Bryan Danielson. You ain't calling John Moxley Dean Ambrose. Actually, I think Jim Ross has done that. But anyways, like, they mess up. People in AEW mess up. I call it out, and I get shit on. Like, what the hell? So going forward, we had Jungle Boy versus Anthony Bowens. As they were making their entrance, the Acclaim that is, there was a line by Max Caster that said something like, he's like, I'm good at talking, but Jungle Boy, you stutter in every promo. And Jungle Boy kind of agreed and went, yeah, sometimes, yeah. And then he said something along the lines, if you let your girlfriend hang around 7 other guys. And I go, oh, really? Really? So as the match begins, Anthony Bowens gets the upper hand, and he hits Jungle Boy with a vicious strike. Jungle Boy comes back with some brutal strikes of his own. Bowens soon hits Jungle Boy in the face and the ribs. Jungle Boy countered Bowens with a wrist lock into a springboard. Jungle Boy then gives Bowens a knife-edge chop. That was a stiff chop, too. Max Caster grabs the leg of Jungle Boy while the referee was distracted with Bowens. Jungle Boy kicks Caster away. However, Bowens wallops Jungle Boy, and the attack falls to the outside of the ring. Get another picture-in-picture break with Bowens in control. When we return from the break, Jungle Boy is taking Bowens out taking him out at his legs. Where was I? Sorry, I saw something in the chat that distracted me. Jungle Boy goes for a suplex. Bowens counters and hits a strong kick. Jungle Boy goes for a snapmare. No, snare trap. Why did I write snapmare? He didn't do a snapmare. It was a snare trap. However, I know what happened. I think I wrote snare trap, and my computer, because I have Grammarly, auto-corrected it to snapmare instead of snare trap. Because I wrote it as one word probably. My bad. Anyways, Caster gets on the apron and distracts Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy takes Caster out, and Jungle Boy follows it up with a tope suicida. Jungle Boy gets back into the ring, and he gets taken out by Bowens. Bowens goes for the pin, but Jungle Boy kicks out at the last second. Jungle Boy then traps Bowens in the snare trap, and Bowens taps out. After the match, as Jungle Boy is celebrating on the middle rope, Bobby Fish would come out and attack him. Finally, Jungle Boy is saved by Christian Cage. Give me 1 second. I need to check something really fast. Two seconds, guys. All right, no. All right, I had a message that I thought was something, but it's nothing. So going forward, we get a short little promo setting up Adam Hangman Page. Then get a backstage segment with the Super Click, the Young Bucks and Adam Cole. Adam Cole introduces his old stablemate, Bobby Fish. Adam tells Bobby that he will wrestle Jungle Boy at AEW Rampage this week. The Young Bucks welcome Bobby Fish to AEW and say that he's new around here. And Matt Jackson tells Fish that, quote, there's no dispute. I don't know if that was supposed to be an Undisputed Era jab or what, but Adam Cole also says, I knew I could always count on you, old friend. Get some clips setting up CM Punk and the Eddie Kingston match for the pay-per-view. Next up, we get Wheeler Yuta versus Wardlow. Bell rings. Wheeler Yuta goes right after Wardlow. Wardlow stops him in his tracks. Yuta gets a few shots in and Wardlow, but Wardlow had had enough and slams Yuta down, picks him back up, and power bombs him 4 consecutive times. Wardlow ends it by hitting Yuta with a rising knee strike and pins Yuta in a very quick match. After the match, Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy are checking on Yuta. However, Cassidy and Taylor both get attacked by the HFO. Matt Hardy has a steel chair around the neck of Orange Cassidy and hits him with a twist of fate. This actually sets up Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy this Friday on Rampage. When we return from the break, they go to their cameras in the back, and CM Punk and Eddie Kingston are trying to fight each other. But other wrestlers in the back and personnel and referees are holding them back. Next up, we had a really good tag team match. It was Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty against the team of Dante Martin and Lio Rush. Lee Moriarty and Dante Martin started off the match with a tie-up. Martin and Moriarty counter each other for a good minute or two. Martin then counters Moriarty's pin attempt, and they continue to counter each other even more. They finally had enough. They stopped, and the crowd applauded. Great sequence here with these two. Lio Rush is tagged in, and Lee Moriarty then tags in Sydal. Rush gets in the face of Moriarty and says something I couldn't tell what. Sydal then gets in Rush's face, and Rush slaps him hard. Sydal eventually catches up to Lio Rush and lands a massive dropkick onto Rush. We go to another picture-in-picture break here. I think that's 3 matches in a row with you picture-in-pictures. I mean, I like it. It's like regular sports. During the picture-in-picture, at one point, all 4 guys are fighting in the ring. When we return, Lee Moriarty and Lio Rush were in the ring. Sydal and Moriarty are double-teaming Lio. Rush hits Sydal and Moriarty with a handspring back elbow. Sydal and Moriarty get out of the ring, and Rush hits Sydal with a tope suicida. Rush then tags in Martin, and all 4 men are battling it out. Rush calls out a play of sorts, and Martin hits Moriarty with a finish and pins him to pick up the victory. So Dante Martin does pin Lee Moriarty to pick up the win. We then get a Miro promo where he talks about his upcoming big match against Bryan Danielson, where the winner will become the next number 1 contender for the AEW World title. Full Gear is only on Fight TV outside of the United States, Gabriel Perez. I don't know where you're from or anything. If you're outside the United States, then you can get it on Fight TV. But you're insinuating here, you say, I really want to see CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. That made pay immediately the Full Gear pay-per-view on Fight. I don't want anyone to think that, the pay-per-view's on Fight in the U.S. It's not. Going forward, we had Dax Harwood. Dax the Axe against Pac. Before the bell, Excalibur says the Cash Wheeler has been barred from ringside. The match eventually starts, and both men countering each other. Pac takes control after hitting Dax with multiple shoulder tackles, a body slam, and a big ol' arm drag takedown. Pac and Harwood are now kind of, at odds. They start slapping and chopping each other. Pac hits Dax with a nice-looking release German suplex. Harwood goes to the outside, and Pac lands a diving elbow over the ropes onto Harwood. We go to commercial break, and when we come back, Pac and Harwood are standing on the top turnbuckle, and Pac hits Harwood with a great avalanche brainbuster. At one point, Pac and Harwood are on their feet, and Dax hits Pac with a rebound Liger bomb. Harwood goes for the pin. Pac kicks out at 2. Pac soon counters Harwood's hold into the brutalizer. Dax immediately taps out, and they kind of tell us, that is a awesome decision for Dax Harwood to just tap out and not even try to break the hold. He's got a big title match at the pay-per-view this weekend. You don't want to risk injury in the submission, so just tap it and quit the match. You lose, oh well. I did like that what's it called? They called that out. Because some people may go, oh man, that brutalizer move, either that's what did he just say? Oh man, that brutalizer move is either that brutal or Dax is that weak. No, it's not that Dax is weak and tapped really quick. It's that he knows I just need to get out of this move so I don't get hurt. Give me 1 second, guys. Fight TV. If you guys live in the United States, you will not see AEW Full Gear on their homepage or on their schedule. I'm looking at it right here. Schedule. Saturday. Yes, no. 1, 2, 2, 2. You will not see AEW Full Gear. The only way to get Full Gear on Fight is if you live outside of the United States. Again, I'm on the Fight website. You do not see anything AEW Full Gear on their website if you are in the United States. I don't know why All Out was on Fight. It was great that All Out was on Fight because I like the Fight app better than Bleacher Report, but may have just been a one-time thing. So for people arguing about this in the chat, nothing to argue about. It's not on Fight in the U.S. If you live in the U.K., Canada, Mexico, well, maybe you can get it on Fight there. So going forward, at our main event segment. Well, first we got a highlight video hyping up MJF versus Darby Allin. Tony Schiavone is then in the ring, and it's time for the AEW contract signing between Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. Tony mentions that Tony Khan has banned the Dark Order and the Elite from ringside during this contract signing. So I don't know if there's going to be any reprimandations on Kenny unless they don't count Don as the Elite. But with that, Tony Schiavone asked both men to sign the contract. Page pauses before signing. Page says that he looks, quote, forward to kicking Kenny's ass. Or he says, I look forward to kicking your ass at Full Gear. Page signs the contract, then hands it over to Omega. Omega pauses. Talks about the history between he and Hangman. Kenny asks Hangman to, quote, shake his hand and then go kill it at Full Gear. Also, there was a cool line that I liked where Hangman goes, you talk about me being lesser than you and not thinking I can live up to my old tag team partner. Well, that was you one time when you had a tag team partner that you didn't think you can live up to. Talking about Kota Ibushi. He's like, but now I think you have surpassed him and I am going to surpass you. So Hangman shakes Omega's hand. Omega goes to leave the ring, and suddenly Page is attacked by a cameraman. We quickly learn that cameraman is Don Callis. Don Callis then grabs the mic and says, element of surprise. I've been gone for 6 weeks, sitting in my basement waiting for the time when you'd forget about me and I can come back and strike. Omega then grabs Hangman, who was bleeding from the hairline. He then grabs his fingers, rubs it in the blood of Hangman, and then uses that to sign the contract. So Kenny signs the contract with the blood of Adam Hangman Page as the show goes off the air. So that was AEW Dynamite. I thought it was a pretty good show. That everything itself did what it needed to do. I felt like they could have done a little more for some of the matches going into the pay-per-view, but hey, you can only do so much on a 2-hour show with an inflated roster. I just felt like there was more non-pay-per-view things on this show that needed to be, because this should have been all about the pay-per-view. We didn't need Wardlow and Wheeler Yuta. That could have been on next week's show. Matt Sydal, Lee Moriarty, Dante Martin, Leo Rush. That could have been on a Rampage or something. It's just didn't play in for the pay-per-view. And in my opinion, the go-home show should be all about building that pay-per-view. We don't need anything that has nothing to do with the pay-per-view. But speaking of said pay-per-view, we're going to do a little predictions here for AEW Full Gear. Let me pull up the card right here. AEW Full Gear. Also, I forgot to mention, they announced the buy-in match as well. But we'll talk about it here in a second when I pull everything up. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 matches announced. 10 with the buy-in. With that, guys, this coming Saturday is the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. Full Gear comes to us on pay-per-view, on Bleacher Report. Yeah, I think it's Bleacher Report. It's not Bleacher Report Live anymore. It's just Bleacher Report here in the United States, on Full Gear internationally. Well, let's run down the card. Announced tonight on Dynamite, a tag team match will be taking place as Nyla Rose will be teaming with Jamie Hayter to take on Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. I'm picking, let's go Thunder Rosa and Shida. Why not? Babyface win on the buy-in to bring to make people happy at the start. Also, give me 1 second to check something. Was this match officially announced? Was the tag? Hold on. Yes. So, a new match has been announced. I did not see this during the show. Was this announced during the show or after the show? I don't know. But we do have a tag team match taking place at Full Gear. The team of Pac and Cody Rhodes will be taking on the team of Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. I'm going to go Pac and Cody Rhodes picking up the victory. In a Falls Count Anywhere trios match, Christian Cage and the Jurassic Express will be taking on the Super Click, Adam Cole, and the Young Bucks. It's a tough one, because I can see the baby faces picking up the win, but I can also see the Super Click winning, and then us thinking, oh, well, they won this. Maybe Kenny's going to win the other match, and the Super Click. I'm going to go Super Click. I could be wrong there, but I'm going to go Super Click. Going forward, we got Darby Allin versus MJF. I think it's MJF, because I think MJF, outside of Miro or Danielson from winning the Eliminator tournament, I think MJF is going to become the next number one contender. In a Minneapolis street fight, we have the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz against the Men of the Year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, and American Top Team, Dan Lambert, Junior Dos Santos, and Andrei Arlovsky. I'm going to go Inner Circle picks up the victory based off of they got beat down tonight. In the finals of the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament, Bryan Danielson will be going one-on-one with Miro. Originally, I would have said Danielson loses to Mox, but I don't see Miro winning this, so I'm going to go Danielson now, Bryan Danielson. In our first of 3 tag team matches, no, in our first of 3 title matches, we do have the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line as the Lucha Brothers defend against FTR, I'm going Lucha Brothers retain the titles. With the AEW Women's World Championship on the line, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, will be defending against Ty Conti. And do I even have to make a prediction? It's Baker retaining. They ain't putting this title on fucking Ty Conti, no offense. And with that, we got the main event. The AEW World Championship on the line. Kenny Omega defending against Hangman Page. I'm going to go Hangman. I'm going to say Hangman picks up the victory, but I'm going to go one further. I'm going to say Hangman doesn't hold the title long. That's my prediction. Hangman wins and is somewhat of a transitional champion. So with that, guys, that is everything we do know for this Saturday's AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. If we do hear anything else leading up to Full Gear, well, we'll have it for you right here on Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So with that, you know what I thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought. As far as the polls do go, that's not the Twitch poll. This is the Twitch poll. Twitch poll, 100% like tonight's Dynamite. It's good to see. Very good to see. Let's head over to the Twitter poll. Twitter. 70% like tonight's Dynamite. 14% thought it was all right. And 14% did not like it. As far as the YouTube poll does go. Sorry about that. 68% like tonight's show. 21% thought it was just all right, and 11 did not. Excuse me, hiccup. 11% did not like Dynamite. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so by putting a super chat in the YouTube. Excuse me, get them hip ups. You can put a super chat in the YouTube chat, or you can text into 510-906-1341. Person here says, if Hangman Page wins the AEW World title at Full Gear, who will be his first challenger? I think it's the winner of the Eliminator tournament. I think it's going to be Danielson, or it could be MJF. I just have a feeling MJF's going to get built up as a challenger, especially with this whole Pillars of the Future thing. I think it's going to lead to MJF winning the belt, quickly, soon. It says Dynamite was really good. I'm glad to see Don Callis is back, but in my opinion, I think Hangman should win because they've been building him up this year, and I think that Full Gear should be his time to win. Again, I agree. I think Hangman wins, but I don't think he should hold it long. Okay, I'm not going to read a comment for someone that says, I didn't watch the show, but I want to talk about this from the show. If you didn't watch it, how are you going to comment? This person says, is it true All Elite Wrestling and Impact are done working together? I believe for now, yes. No side has officially come out and said it. Person also says Zoe Stark, torn ACL, Kofi Kingston, MCL injury. Kofi Kingston's is a storyline injury. Zoe Stark's is a real injury. Please remember that. Zoe Stark did have an ACL injury. They're saying that Kofi Kingston may have an MCL injury. His is full storyline. Zoe Stark's is real. And this person says, ooh, is this the start of Adam turning on the Elite or turning babyface and forming the Undisputed Era in AEW? Well, you got to get Kyle O'Reilly first. And I've been saying since day one that he is infiltrating the Elite, not wanting to actually be with the Elite, but wants to take them down from the inside. I thought that could be the greatest storyline they could do. He gets in with them, he reforms the Super Clique, and hell, maybe they played this all the way to frickin' February. They get Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen. They reform the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. They go all the way to next summer, and then, Adam Cole and Kevin Steen have turned on the Young Bucks. That's maybe another way they can do it as well. But I really think this would be a great long-term storyline for Adam Cole to turn on them and say, I was never really with you. You saw the pause when I first showed up at All Out. Because at first they were like, hey! And he's like, because they got the whole thing of, you guys thought I was dead for 4 years and never tried to check on me. So I really think that this is all going to lead to Adam Cole turning on them and saying I was never actually with you anyways because I couldn't trust you. For 4 years, you guys pretended I was dead. And this person says, why do you think Hangman will be a transitional champ? And who do you think he'd drop it to then? Well, I think MJF. I also think he's a transitional champ for 2 reasons. 1, he's a great chaser. He's a great babyface chasing the champion. And 2, as far as I'm hearing, he hasn't re-signed with the company, and his contract is up at the end of the year, if not like January, February time. So you don't put the title on a guy long-term if he's not signed long-term. I mean, last I heard a week ago was he has not re-signed with the company yet. Britt Baker, who signed at the same time as him, has re-signed with the company. Scorpio Sky, who signed at the same time with him, signed a new contract with the company. But as of last week, last I heard, Hangman had not signed a new deal. So there's a little scoop-ski for you guys. I was going to put that out tomorrow morning on Patreon, but I gave it to you for free here. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PW Unlimited. So with that, guys, we will be back on Friday for both Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Then we'll be here on Saturday for AEW Full Gear. So with that, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you later. All right.